Bonjour mes amis, this is Kyle here, and I'm back today with a brand new video after almost a month of inactivity. And before we do start this video, I really do want to apologize for that. I had said in my previous video that I was going to commit to a semblance of a weekly upload schedule. However, that just right now simply is not possible. I did unfortunately have a personal matter involving a family member that just arose a couple of weeks ago, or more like a month ago actually. And, you know, that's life, you know, c'est la vie. But unfortunately, I'm just not in a good place right now to be sticking to a concrete schedule. That notwithstanding, I do have a little bit more free time to myself, as that said family member is recovering quite nicely. And that means that I will be able to record more voiceovers now and in the near future, so that I will be able to get out some new videos to you guys. And this is especially good news since I've acquired a mountain of raw footage that I finally have some time to edit. And on top of that, my recent birthday was very, very kind to me, and I was fortunate enough to be able to purchase one of the new 2017 27-inch iMacs, which has about 3 or 4 times the power of my old computer. So I'm able to edit a lot faster and record a lot faster. And it's so seamless, even on the ultra graphic setting, which I was never able to accomplish before. And I'm really excited to be able to explore that in some more of my videos that are coming later. Of course, this build was filmed on the old computer, so it doesn't have the 5K graphics yet. But I am excited to be able to record with those soon. In addition, although I should not be promising that much considering my recent track record, I am hoping to begin uploading about 3 times a week as opposed to 1 or 2 times a week, so that my channel can become a more reliable source of Sims 4 content for you guys. I am planning on some really exciting things for the channel, and I can't wait to share them with you. All that aside, today I have a very special speed build to present to you ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary persons. This is Willow Creek's new and fabulous hospital. This has to be one of the longest builds I've ever done. I'm pretty sure I've amassed about 20 or 30 hours of footage as it is, and then just add another maybe 10 or 15 hours on top of that for what I've done outside of recording on this build. And although it has been completed for something over a little more than a month now, excuse my blip there, I have not had the time to edit it, and I'm finally, a lot of finallys there, proud to present it to you guys, and honestly just to get it over with, because as much as I love doing these speed builds, they do get tiring to just have them sit here and cluster up, and I have to figure out some way to get them to you guys when I'm just so busy with all of that family stuff. But all in all, I think that it was worth it to be putting in that much time to this build and to a lot of the other builds that I do. And one thing that is coming up soon, I am doing a vampire dream house, and I'm excited for that. I only have a few hours of footage for that so far, but I'm hoping to be finished with it soon. It's only 1 floor, so it shouldn't take me that extremely long. Now, the idea for making this video actually came from my own gameplay for once. I have been playing this one sim, and she has been trying to advance in the doctor career path from the Get to Work expansion pack. And since I do follow her to the hospital each and every single day, I decided that the EA made one was a little bit mundane for my tastes, because as you all know, I like to be extravagant with my builds. And so I decided, why not just build a brand new hospital? And so that's what I did. In the near future, I really also hope to post a video, or post several videos actually, where I can rebuild the police station and where I can rebuild the Future Sims lab and all of that fun stuff, but I am just not there yet. But for now, the hospital will do. So with that said, I do have some pretty exciting things in mind coming up for the channel. Like I said, the Vampire Dream House. And also, I think I recorded a townie makeover of Count Vladislav Strahd, or however you say that. I totally butchered that name, but the count that comes with the Vampire game pack. So I am going to be showing that video soon when I can edit it, and I'm even more excited to announce that myself and my Sims bestie Liz Sims, which is her channel name here on YouTube, have done a collab together. So we built a modern suburban house where I designed the exterior and she beautifully decorated the interior with the theme of the Not So Berry Challenge in mind. So I am really excited actually to be putting her version into my game, which I haven't done so yet since I've been so busy transferring all of my Sims 4 files to my new computer. But when I put it in, I am going to make a sim for it, and then that will be another CAS video that I can upload for you guys soon. But we should be uploading those videos on our respective channels probably within the next week or so, depending on how long it takes my lazy butt to finish editing the footage and do the voiceover. One thing though, just to deviate from the build a little bit more, I'm also incredibly upset at the unfortunate timing of my family emergency. Now I know that is a little bit of a selfish thing to say, but I was really looking forward to participating in the hashtag Hotel Bumpkin Challenge on Devon Bumpkin's channel. And the deadline was the 16th of August, so 4 days from when I've recorded this, 4 days ago. And I'm really upset that I didn't get to participate in it because of, you know, the family emergency and everything. Because I had worked really hard on doing the exterior, but unfortunately, I just never got around to doing the interior. So although I was not able to enter the challenge, I am going to be posting the footage that I have for the exterior, since I did completely renovate the exterior. But unfortunately, there will be no interior as of yet, unless you guys want me to. So I guess when that video comes out, you'll just have to let me know if that's something that you guys want to see. But even still, I am happy with how that exterior came out, because I think that with the direction that I went, it was a really good use of the sort of medieval Gothic theme, or not medieval, Victorian Gothic theme, excuse me, that he was going for there. So I think that it was a fairly decent renovation. But now, of course, back to the build. So here I decided to do this really cool thing with the windows, because the first floor is height level number 1 and the second floor is the second height level. And I wanted to do this thing where I put the smaller windows above the larger windows on the second floor using the half walls, because I figured, you know, that would add some kind of dimension to it. But one thing that I was disappointed about this though is that unlike their larger counterparts, the smaller windows do not bend or I guess contract, or not contract, the opposite of contract, expand when you put them on a diagonal wall. And so I wasn't able to do the windows for the diagonal wall, which I was kind of upset about. But still, I was able to do it for most of the build, and I think it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I did cut out a lot of landscaping from this video, and I'm really upset that I had to do that. But there was so much footage. I mean, it was crazy what I had to cut out, and I honestly did not have enough time unless I split this video into 2 parts, which I was trying to avoid. I just did not have enough time to show you guys the landscaping, or at least all of it. I do actually landscape later on in the video the back part of the build, so you guys will get to see that part, and I am pretty happy with how that turned out. I've been trying lately a new landscaping style where it's not just like the mishmash that I always use with like the pale yellow flowers and the rocks and all of that kind of stuff. I've been trying something a little bit different, and when I do get around to posting what I had done for part of the Devon Bumpkin challenge, the hotel challenge or whatever, you will get to see a little bit more of what I'm talking about, because I did a lot of landscaping for that build, or for that build renovation, and it focused on the kind of new landscaping that I've been trying. Now here the video just cut, and I had a lot of problems, honestly, with designing the interior of this hospital at first, because I couldn't decide on the color scheme. I really liked what I was able to do with the outside. I was really happy with it, where I was able to use that stone along with the white bricks and the white, I guess, tiles. I really liked how I was able to do that, but for the interior, I couldn't decide on what colors I wanted to use. So I ended up just going with white and blue for most of it, and some more pastel colors, especially for the waiting room, since there are 2 of them, not counting the upstairs waiting room. So I guess there's 3 waiting rooms now that I'm thinking about it. There's 3 waiting rooms in this build, and I used this kind of white and blue or light blue theme for that. Now for this build, you will have to have the Get to Work expansion pack, obviously, since this is the hospital. If you don't have the Get to Work expansion pack, though, you'd be missing a lot of items, but you could put this in your game. It just would be a non-functional hospital. It would just be a generic lot. But so long as you put this hospital into your game in the Willow Creek Hospital lot, it should function exactly as the other hospital when you do the Get to Work career track. You will also need Get Together expansion pack and City Living expansion pack. Now, I did use a couple items here, which you'll see in a minute, from the Parenthood game pack and from the Dine Out game pack. I didn't realize that this specific item that I used, it was a plant, that the wall plant that I used. I didn't realize it was from Dine Out. I thought it was from Parenthood, which is kind of funny. I use it so many times. I should have seen the icon, but whatever. It's just a decor item anyway, so if you don't have Dine Out, or if you don't have Parenthood, the items that I used from both of those packs were just decor items or decor items or whatever. So if you don't have those packs, that shouldn't hinder the functionality of this hospital. So long as you have, like I said, the expansion packs, all 3 of them, you should be fine. And even then, if you really only have Get to Work, it'll just be some items that will be misplaced, but you could probably still use this hospital and it would still be functional, and just replace some of the items that wouldn't be able to download from the gallery or from wherever you download this. Now that does bring me to a more exciting note. Here's my ramblings. For this build, this is the first time, if everything goes correctly, that I will be posting my builds to Mod The Sims. Now, I use Mod The Sims all the time. I download a bunch of mods off of there that I use, and if you've watched my other videos, you know I don't use custom content, which honestly may change now that I have this more powerful computer. I might be able to use custom content now, since my other computer just couldn't load it, and maybe now this one can. I will have to see. But I use Mod The Sims to download gameplay-oriented mods, or mods that just improve the gameplay experience. And I noticed that some people also post their builds on there. And so I was thinking, you know, why not post my builds on there too? Just because I know there's some of you guys out there that unfortunately do not have access to the gallery or what have you, maybe for internet reasons or whatever. So I figured for those of you people who don't use the gallery, can't use the gallery, or don't like to use the gallery, then you can just head right on over to Mod The Sims. I'll put a link in the description and you should be able to download it, you know, everything working correctly. You should be able to download it from there and put it into your tray folder, direct into the Sims 4 folder in your computer documents. And that way, everybody can always have access to my builds. And yeah, so that'll be pretty great. Here I was kind of just decorating the little doctor's suites, I suppose. The ones that I were doing before were more like inpatient, outpatient rooms, but I feel like these would be like the clinic area, like the area that you go to in the hospital when you're seeing the doctor, not when you're an actual patient, but when you got to see the doctor, like an emergency or urgent care center. And I think those turned out pretty nice. I do, in all honesty, for most of the rooms, just duplicate them and change them around a little bit. Some of them, like these doctor's rooms, actually, I pretty much keep the same, because the thing about it is, if you've ever been in a hospital, really, most of the rooms do look the same. Especially here, like I'm not going to speak for everywhere because I haven't been to a hospital everywhere, but where I live in Florida, if you go to any of the Florida hospitals in Central Florida, they basically look the same. And within a hospital too, the rooms themselves look the same. So I figured, you know, that would be fine. There's still a little bit of variety, like I changed the tissue box color and I changed like the plant color and that sort of thing. But other than that, there's really not that much else that's different. Now here we have the surgery rooms, and there are actually 4 of these. I noticed that in the EA-made version of this hospital, there were only 2 surgical beds, I believe, or maybe there were 2 in one area and then 2 in another area, not entirely sure, but I went ahead and made 4 separate surgical rooms, and they each have their own private ensuite bathrooms, because I figured, you know, the doctors might get a little blood and stuff on them, and maybe they want to take a nice shower afterwards or something, I don't know. I do actually, come to think of bathrooms, towards the end, I do go back, I think it was off camera, and I fix a lot of the bathrooms to make them sort of ensuite bathrooms so that they do have showers, and some have actual shower, like bathtub combinations. But I figured that was kind of important since some people do stay many nights in the hospital and, you know, condition approved, or no, not condition approved. I suppose like medical status pending, or not pending. Oh goodness, I can't think of my words. Whatever, I'll think of what I'm trying to say in a minute. You have to like have special circumstances to really be able to use a shower, because if you're in the hospital, chances are you probably can't. But I figure if some people can, you know, depending on their medical condition, that's what I'm trying to say, depending on whatever is wrong with them, they may or may not be able to take a shower. And I know personally, if I was in the hospital, I would really want to take a shower, not do one of those spray-on tans, or spray-on tans, oh my goodness, spray-on tans, so spray-on deodorant, and, you know, spray on shampoo, whatever, that kind of stuff, you know, the automatic stuff. I would not want that. I like a nice clean shower. And of course, maybe that didn't make a lot of sense, but it did in my head, so that's what counts. So here I was just moving around the stuff in the surgical rooms. The surgical beds or tables or whatever stay the same. They're in the same spot rather, and then I just moved around the decorations and the decor objects and whatnot. I'm not entirely sure, come to think of it, whether those objects can be used by the Sims. I really didn't player test this. I only player tested part of it. The problem with it was on my old computer, which I haven't been on The Sims since I've gotten my new computer, really. I've been on there like once, and that was just to check and see if I could load the ultra graphics setting, which I can. But, oh, and here's the landscaping I was talking about. This is the new sort of landscaping that I'm trying, but I did it a little bit different even from this. And, oh, actually, not even just the Devon Bumpkin build that I was doing, or the Devon Bumpkin Challenge build, but I also did it a little bit in my collab with Liz. So yeah, you guys will be able to see that. I'm really excited for you guys to be able to see that more. But, oh, what was I talking about? I completely forgot what I was talking about. I hate when I do this. Oh yeah, I didn't player test it because I haven't been on The Sims because blah 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 ultra graphic settings. I can run the graphic settings on ultra and it's completely like fine. I think I mentioned this earlier actually, but it is seamless. It is even more seamless on the ultra settings than the game was on my old computer on like the poor settings. So I'm really excited to be able to record with such good graphics for a change. I always see how Deligracy or Hatsy has their computer settings because they have like a powerful PC and stuff. They have their computer settings where, you know, you can see like the outline of the shadows from the window and the lights, and it's just, oh, it's so much prettier. You can see like down to the very, I guess, definition of each object where you can see the individual polygons. And I was like, oh my goodness, you know, now I can do this. And I'm very happy about it. If you guys can't tell, I'm very happy to be able to have that level, I guess, of graphic settings on my computer, especially since I'm running it from a Mac, which I'm really happy about. Like, I can't explain in words how happy I am with this new computer. It's so much bigger and so much faster, and it has like twice the amount of storage, and I don't know, I'm very happy with it all around. And I think that it's going to make it a lot easier for me, not only to edit, not only to record, but just to enjoy the game itself, because so much of the game is not only just graphics centered, but centered on the fact that it's expected where the computer is going to go fast, especially on those really laggy load screens. When I first got this, and the one time that I went on The Sims, like I said before, the thing that I tested the most was how long it took on the load screens. On my old computer, which, you know, I've been knocking it a lot, it wasn't that bad, but on my old computer, it took maybe a minute or a minute and a half to load a 30 by 20 lot. And on this computer, it takes less than, I want to say, 20 seconds to load a 30 by 20 lot. And that's like fully furnished, like with BB Move objects turned on and all of that fun stuff. I mean, this lot does take a while to load. Even in the new computer, it takes a while to load. So that is one thing that you guys should be careful of. If you do download this lot, it has a lot of stuff in it, and it will take a second to load. It might be a little laggy moving the camera around if you're zoomed all the way out. But if you're zoomed in, and once you have the lot loaded, it shouldn't be as laggy, I don't think. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, have not player tested this yet, but I will. And then maybe I can get back to you, I guess, somehow in a different video or something. I don't know. You'll just have to stay tuned to my channel. See what I did there, promo. You'll have to stay tuned to my channel to see if it's going to still be laggy, even when you're playing it after you've downloaded it and after you loaded the lot. But yeah, so here anyway, besides all of that, here, back to the build, finally. We just jumped screens. Well, I was doing the upstairs indoor gym. I did a small one downstairs, but then I realized, oh, I haven't done the big one yet, so I did that. But now I am doing the, I guess, boss's office or the executive's office or the head of the hospital, whatever they're called. And I forgot about the fact that it was 2 floors, and I really liked the ability to make those bookcases really tall. I just stacked them on top of each other. There's 2 levels of them. I guess I probably could have done another level of smaller bookcases if I wanted to, but whatever. So there's 2 levels of bookcases, and I did put some like little objects around and like paperwork and stuff like that. And I got to use, I remember, I also used a couple of items from the spa day pack. I think I only used maybe 1 or 2. So if you don't have that should be fine. I don't know why I keep forgetting about these packs. I'm so sorry. I tried to limit it only to the expansion packs because I feel like more people have the expansion packs than they would game packs or individual stuff packs. So I tried to limit it to just those, but it did not work out that way. But yeah, I did use a light from the Spa Day expansion pack, I think. In this office, it's one of the spirally dangling lights, so you'll have to excuse me for that. One thing though is when the walls are down in this build, I realized it takes away a lot of the detail. Now personally, I'm a Sims 4 player that likes to play the game close up to their Sims, because I like to see all of the detail that goes into not only the Sims but the interactions and the builds themselves. And I was kind of disappointed because on walls down mode you really can't see much detail. The office though, the boss's office, you can see a lot of detail just because of the fact that I think those curtains don't exactly disappear correctly, those double layer curtains or double level curtains, and the shelves definitely do not disappear because they're still classified as being on the lower level instead of also the upper level. But that aside, a lot of the detail is taken away when you do walls down mode, or I guess not just complete walls down, but also, you know, like the middle one. I don't know what it's called. You'll have to forgive me on that. But anyway, so we just finished the X-ray room. That's the area where your Sims get like the full body scan or whatever to determine what's wrong with them. And I can't tell you how many times when I was playing with that Sim, you know, the Sim that inspired me to build this, I can't tell you how many times I sat there going over and over and over on the diagnoses, and she kept diagnosing them. She's not a very high level doctor, and so she kept diagnosing them, and it kept saying needs a high level doctor or something like that. And then I realized that entire time I should have went to those x-ray machines or whatever they're called, and that would have determined their diagnosis. And I feel like really silly now that I did not do that, because I honestly didn't realize. I did not realize that was a thing. But when I was doing this build, that's when I realized it was a thing. So hopefully, if you guys did not know that, that would put you a little bit ahead of me, or myself rather, when you do download this, or if you download it. I'm not telling you what you're gonna do, but you should, just saying. If you do download this, yeah. So anyway, here I was doing the lab, and this is actually, oh my goodness, wow, 30 minutes has passed. This is one of the first videos that I've done almost entirely, completely unprepared. Usually I do these voiceovers a couple of times before I'm comfortable with the way that they turn out, but I've been watching a lot of other sim YouTubers lately, and you know, now that I haven't had time to record, so I've been watching other sim YouTubers, and I've just seen how they, even though they still kind of go off on tangents, they get the point across even so. And I was like, you know, why should I be recording voiceovers over and over and over again if even these more experienced YouTubers don't necessarily do that? You know what I mean? Or if they do go off on a tangent, it's okay because you'll just end up working yourself back to it. So this actually recording was a lot more enjoyable for me just because I didn't have to do that, because that took a really long time to record and then say, ooh, no, I don't like how I sounded in that one, and then delete it, and then record it again. Ooh, no, I don't like that part. Let me delete the whole thing and start over. And it was the worst thing ever. So I'm glad that for this video, especially since this is the first build that I'm posting elsewhere besides the gallery and YouTube, and this is the first build that other people will see. So if they actually come to the video, this might be the first time that people from the outside would be really like engaging with me for the first time, if that makes any sense. I'm glad that this video is a little bit more unscripted, so people can kind of get a feel of who I am rather than what I type out or say a few times over and over to get perfectly right. So yeah, I hope that all made sense. It kind of doesn't make sense, but it kind of does. So I hope you guys got that. And yeah, so that is actually the end of the build. Here we go into the screenshots, and this is the exterior. I'm really excited about the exterior, especially right where it goes here, you can see where I did right by that walkway, a little flower area. I'd planned on doing that everywhere, I just didn't get around to it. I also did not put in any pool lights because just the way that it reflected with the black, I thought it was pretty cool on its own. Then here we have the plants with the new design that I've done, and hopefully you guys will see more of that. And here's some of the plants that's like below level. You can kind of see some of the lights peeking through. I maybe should have edit that a little bit better. Here you can see something that's really cool because you can see the 2 tall glass story area where you can see down. And this is the cafeteria, which I actually have no footage for. I did it completely off camera, but I thought it was pretty nice. It was going to be a 3rd waiting room, and then it just wasn't. Then here we have the main waiting room, which branches off down the hallway into the toddler's play area because, of course, you got to have them little tots do something. And then that goes into the smaller waiting area, the emergency room waiting area, if you will. And on that toddler note, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited about the toddler stuff pack coming out in like 3 days or something, or 4 days, August the 24th, I think. I'm really excited about that coming out because we have almost no items for toddlers. And especially since I'm going to be starting my Parenthood LP soon, which you guys should totally tune back into the channel to watch that when it comes out in a week or so, once I build their apartment, which I haven't done that yet. But anyways, so I'm really excited about that toddler stuff pack coming out because it's just perfect timing. I can put little toddler Caitlin in a bunch of different cute little outfits, and I don't know, I'm just super excited about it. I really love the walkways in this hospital though. That was kind of random, but I love just the walkways. They're so pretty. I mean, I don't know. I really like how this turned out. I can't describe it. Like, I really like the way that this turned out. If you do notice, the backdrop is different for the screenshots though. It was hard enough as it was to build on the actual Willow Creek hospital lot, but it was even harder to try and take screenshots because it was just so laggy. So I had to move it to the 50 by 50 lot in Willow Creek where Oakenstead is, and I took the screenshots there. So if that's why the background looks different, that is why. Here we have the upstairs little waiting area. If you just saw a second ago, it just flashed off your screen a second ago, there was the tall glass dome on the top of it that's 2 stories by itself. And I think it's so cool how you can look all the way up from the cafeteria up into the 2nd floor waiting room and then up into those stories just completely made out of windows. I think that is the coolest thing ever. And I didn't realize it was going to turn out that well until I started taking the screenshots and I got into that 1st person mode, you know, when you're in tab mode and you get into that 1st person mode and everything. Here's the x-ray room, and then here's the file room. I didn't really talk about that much. I decided to make a little file room since I had some extra space, and I figure, you know, hospitals have files. Then here is aerial shot of the 1st floor, and it's kind of crowded looking at it from up top, but I think closer it doesn't look as cluttered, even though I do make my builds pretty cluttered. That was just the 2nd floor that you just saw. This is the 3rd floor, and I didn't bother taking one of the 4th floor because there wasn't anything else in it, so I just took one of the top floor, which is the 5th floor. I actually used all the floors except for basements. I didn't put in a basement. But so yeah, this was the build, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in the next one. Bye!